Would you rather make some extra money recycling your oxygen sensors versus throwing them into the trash or the scrap steel bin? Well, today we're going to talk about in this video how you could do just that, how people are making extra money recycling their oxygen sensors. Rich, should we recycle sensors?
Absolutely.
We should.
But let's start with this. What is the purpose of the oxygen sensor?
Okay, well, the oxygen sensor is in an internal combustion engine system, automobile, right?
That's right.
And it senses the air-fuel ratio and sends that information off to the electronic control module so they can trim the air-fuel ratio that's going into the carburetor.
Yeah, they used
Not
to
the carburetor, but the pistons.
They used to call that the lambda ratio,
The
right?
lambda,
And
the
back in
lambda
the day,
sensor, yeah.
they would refer to the oxygen sensor as a lambda sensor.
Right.
How many oxygen sensors are on the exhaust system in today's vehicles?
Depends on the size of the car, how many, cylinders, how big, how many liters. Anywhere from 2 to 4, pre-cat, post-cat.
Yeah, so you got a right bank and a left bank.
Right.
So there's probably at least 2 per bank then.
Nowadays. Back in the day when they first came out, there was just one.
Yeah, that was like the OBD1 generation, right? That was
Right.
typically one oxygen sensor.
That's right.
And then OB2, I believe, is the second generation was 1996 and newer.
Yeah, right.
So how do you know when an O2 sensor is fouled? Let's say the obvious is the check engine light, right? It throws a code.
Right.
But is there anything that could determine an O2 sensor going bad before it trips the check engine light?
Well, your fuel economy might be deteriorating, getting worse. That's one of the big ones right there.
Yeah, or a rough idle, right? Because if
Absolutely.
it's the air-fuel ratio, that's going to have an effect on the idle.
Right. That's right. Yeah, rough idle.
And when did this get implemented, the use of the oxygen sensors?
Well, I think they really came into vogue in the 90s, didn't they? It was mid-90s. They were really, they'd taken off and were on all the internal combustion engines.
Yeah, I think I read something. Volvo was the first manufacturer to import the 240 into California. That
Of
is
course.
EPA and CARB stringent.
Right.
But they were the first manufacturer to import that Volvo 240 with an oxygen sensor.
Well, if the oxygen sensor is working properly, you've got your catalytic converter working within its optimal range. But if it's not working properly, it's probably fouling the converter as well as the sensor itself. The sensor would have to be replaced. If the converter's been fouled, it probably needs to be pulled out of the system and replaced with a new catalytic converter as well. So absolutely, it's very integral to keeping everything within balance.
Right. Probably really costly when you have to replace that OEM converter. It's probably better just to get your O2s replaced if it's throwing the code.
Right. Hey, are you struggling with the catalytic converter recycling market? You need to make more money, don't you? That's right. Whether you're selling in the can, in bulk, or you want to get into decanning and selling by assay, today we're offering 15-minute discovery calls. Click the link below. Give us the opportunity to talk to you about what your specific needs are. Noble Six has been doing this for over 15 years, helping companies just like yourself get to the top of the market.
What makes the O2 sensor valuable?
Well, it has a ceramic thimble inside that has platinum on it. On the outside of the thimble and on the inside of the thimble, a little bit of palladium, but the metal that's valuable is the two precious metals, platinum and palladium. And they used to be larger, these thimbles, so there was more surface area that they could put the platinum on. So there was more loading of platinum on a first generation oxygen sensor. I think we're into maybe the 7th, 8th generation these days. And the thimbles have been getting smaller and smaller, less surface area, less platinum being loaded on. And there's even a different type even though it doesn't look different on the outside of the sensor, they all look the same on the outside. But on the inside of the sensor, they have like what is a plate, or it's a ceramic stick, like a miniature popsicle stick.
Right. So I understand when the PGM, the prices are higher, the manufacturers look into new technologies, how they could thrift
Sure.
the PGM. So what you're saying is the first generation had the thimble like what's in your hand.
Lots of platinum.
And they were loaded. Then they still had that thimble, and they had a little stripe on the
Well, you're
side.
talking 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And now they have the plastic
And
planer
nowadays
that's
it's
even
just, well, it's
less.
a ceramic plater and very little platinum.
Yeah.
So very little value. But still, far more value than just tossing it into the scrap steel bin or trash.
Right. Hey guys, have you ever wondered if you're leaving money on the table when selling your scrap catalytic converters? Well, we have a solution for you. We have a converter price guide with thousands of part numbers. Just use it. Check it out. You can sign up today, have access for it today. See if you are leaving any money on the table, or keep the guy honest that you're selling to. You want to check it out. Make sure you're making the most profits for your business in today's market. It's super simple. Just click the link below. Get started today. Now let's get back to the video. With that being said, why should I take the time and recycle my O2 sensors?
Well, because they're worth money. And, just the mere fact that recycling is good for the environment. So we know that, but you have an economic incentive to collect these up and trim the wiring harnesses off and sell them into the market, but don't sell them as scrap steel. You don't get anything for them at all.
Right.
You get even less when you toss them in the trash.
How many sensors does it take to make a pound?
It takes about 6.5 sensors to make a pound.
Okay, so
That's after the harness is clipped off.
So I'm a little repair shop, and I'm repairing, and I'm saving my O2s because I want to make money. Who doesn't want to make money, right? You want to make as much money on your scrap items as you can.
Sure.
Like you said, you don't want to just throw them in your scrap bin, or worse, throw them away.
Right.
What if I ship you, let's say, I got 40, 50 pounds. Can I send that to you?
Yeah, you could box those up, and we always recommend that people could put them into a priority box from the U.S. Post Office. So the boxes are free. You get the large priority mailbox, holds about 50 pounds. You send those in, you're gonna get paid north of $100 for a priority mailbox of scrap O2 sensors. It's better than throwing them in the steel.
Absolutely. What if I'm a real busy? Let's say I can fill a full 55-gallon drum to the top.
Well, that's going to bring you north of $2,500 in this market.
That's not too bad.
Not too bad. It's way better than allowing the scrap guy to haul it away for pennies.
Yeah, pennies on the dollar versus making some.
And really, what are
money.
you doing? You're just clipping the harness and toss them into a container.
Yeah,
How long does that take? 10 seconds?
If I'm replacing them, I'm taking them out anyway,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, you're handling it. You got to replace it. It's fouled. It needs to be replaced. So
that's right. So it can be recycled. It has recycling value.
Right.
Great.
Yep, absolutely.
If this video piqued your interest and you actually want to make more money with your oxygen sensor scrap, reach out to us. Love to hear from you. Click on the links below, drop a comment, let us know what you're currently doing with your scrap oxygen sensors. Thanks for watching. Peace.